Well, with less than 24 hours until Election Day, we want to bring everyone back together again and discuss the importance of the races in Virginia.
With that said, let's do exactly that. Mike Gooding standing by with our political analysts. Welcome back, everyone.
Well, Leslie and Soji, I would ask you this. 32, 33 years ago, Doug Wilder runs for governor, and he says the only poll that matters is the one taken on Election Day. Are we getting too wrapped up in all these polls right now, thinking we know how it's going to go, when in fact we don't have a clue?
Mike, that was 30 years ago. No. Things are really very different right now, okay? As a matter of fact, those who are going to be really very happy right now will be the Democrats. Because if you look at what the early voting figures look like, and we all know that traditionally, when you have more people voting early, the Democrats, they gain from that, politically speaking. On the other hand, Republicans, now we don't know what that turnout is going to be tomorrow. If they turn out, because of that enthusiasm gap that we are all looking at very closely, if they turn out in the numbers that we're expecting, then Doug Wilder might be right. But if not, I will put my bet on that early voting for now to say that even though there is just that 1 point advantage, Democrats may have that advantage, and it might be very
Leslie,
difficult to catch
you
up
kind
with.
of shake your head.
I have to say, well, I agree with most of what you're saying. I think Doug Wilder was wise. We invest a lot in these polls, and polling is science mixed with a little bit of art. We're really trying to figure out who's coming to polls on Election Day. And, the fact that these polls show us within 1 or 2 percentage points of kind of either candidate, either side winning, means one of them winning by 5 or 6 points is within the margin of error. That's certainly something that's possible.
One thing I'm thinking about is all the people who early voted. So think about those people who early voted before McAuliffe made his foolish gaffe about education. Are they regretting that they early voted? And so what role is early voting going to have in things tomorrow?
So my sense here is that people who vote early are committed, and they're committed to candidates. Your independent voter who is really independent, doesn't know who they're going to vote for, they're not voting a month out, right? So I don't think early voting is going to matter quite as much there.
I want to jump in on a question because a lot of people have been talking about this throughout the race, and that is the bickering going on in Washington. And so many people saying, oh my goodness, if they don't get this package done, the infrastructure and the human infrastructure bills voted on, that is going to really hurt McAuliffe. Do you think, how much of an impact is that going to have on him?
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, all politics are local. And there's people who want to nationalize this election, and I'm not sure. And I remember very well that Terry McAuliffe made that comment. You understand that? Hey, I wish they would pass that, bill, but I'm not sure it's going to make that much difference. And I'm going to tell you why I don't think so. That number one, whether they pass it or not is going to be too late. The election is tomorrow. So it's not going to make that much difference. But even if they do, it's still not going to make that much of a difference because people are paying attention to what is happening here locally and not as much as what is happening nationally.
Leslie, a question for you. What, if anything, might surprise you about tomorrow?
You know what? As I'm thinking about the race tomorrow, I think turnout very likely could surprise us. And I actually think we're not as unlikely to see a 5-6 point win from one of the candidates as the polls would suggest, right? So I think just the margin of victory is likely to be surprising.
All right, and Soji, you have 20 seconds to tell us what will surprise you.
What will surprise me is that we may not have the results on Tuesday. We may not even have the results until Friday, maybe even a week after, because if this race is as close as it is, and Youngkin has already put into question the integrity of our elections, who knows? Maybe this may actually end up with the courts again.
Absolutely, because you do have until November 5th for those ballots to get in, but they have to be postmarked by tomorrow, so they could be counting votes all the way through Friday night.
Election day, election week, election month, who knows? All right. Thank you. Thank you so much. We've covered a lot in the last hour, and our work is really just beginning.
Things will heat up after the polls close, so count on 13 News Now for complete election coverage. Tomorrow night, join me, Mike Gooding, and our political experts for the results as they come in and analysis of what those results mean for the political landscape in Virginia and the U.S. as well. And we'll have a special digital newscast tomorrow night at 9 on all of our digital platforms. Thank you again for joining us today, and we hope that you learned a lot about the candidates and what's at stake so you can make an informed decision at the polls tomorrow.
And remember, you can text VOTE to 757-628-6200 for our guide. Most importantly, if you haven't voted, please make sure that you vote. You vote. Your voice counts. I'm David Allen.
And I'm Janet Roach. We'll be right back for 13 News Now at 4.